Human capital is the asset that this continent has. And therefore, we must do whatever it takes to invest, to sharpen, to prepare this asset that is our young people. And it is the reason why we're saying the young people are going to define what becomes of this continent and what becomes of the globe. In any case, all of us know the statistics. By 2050, a quarter of the world's population will be living here. And most of them, 70%, will be young people. And therefore, we must make every effort to invest in these young people. And the first investment that we must invest in is education, making sure that there is affordable, relevant, and accessible education. Apart from investing in education as a way of equipping our young people, two other things are very important. Health is very important. And it is the reason why in Kenya, we are scaling up promotive and preventive health and taking it to the bottom of the pyramid. And finally, on the subject of youth, it's not just important for us to provide education and to make sure that we have healthy young people. We must think through. For a very long time, we haven't thought clearly about what happens to these youngsters when they come out of college, when they come out of school, when they come out of university. What we have done in Kenya this year, intentionally and deliberately, we have a deliberate program on creating jobs. Today in Kenya, we have made a deliberate policy intervention to say there will be a housing tax of 1.5% out of my salary because we have 6 million people living in informal settlements in Kenya. Informal settlements is a problem. It is a challenge. But we can turn the informal settlements into an opportunity by creating the opportunity for housing, which opportunity will create jobs for our young people. So we sort out two problems. We create jobs using the housing plan, and we give houses to those living in informal settlements. So we turn a challenge into an opportunity. Number two, we are deliberate about making sure that what we can produce locally, we don't import. Let me give you examples. This year, we made a decision that we are not going to import cement or steel or furniture or fish because we can manufacture furniture locally. We have 500,000 young people getting out of our TVETs. If we don't have a policy intervention that says furniture is manufactured locally by our young people, we will continue to import furniture from all manner of places, and our young people are idle. So that's why I'm saying we must be deliberate about creating jobs locally. That is how we are going to stop our young people from getting into boats. I would not entirely agree that we should keep everybody at home. I mean, we live in a global village. I mean, if there are opportunities in America and we have young people who can explore those opportunities, why not? Or in Europe, or in other places. That's fine with me. But they must not run away because we have failed to provide opportunity at home. And that is why I am saying we must be deliberate. We must be intentional about creating opportunities for young people in our economies. You know, the problem we always have is that there is an assumption that somehow, after a young person gets out of school or college or with a university degree, they will somehow figure out some opportunity, or somehow the economy will create some jobs. I promise you, I have been in this space for a while now. Opportunities are deliberately created. Otherwise, they will not be there.
We are guided by our mission to improve people's lives in their communities by transforming the world they live in and creating real change. Your Excellency, I'd like to once again thank you for accepting and honoring our invitation. CFO Motors will work with you in ensuring that we can grow the automotive industry as well as create more opportunities for Kenyan youth to get employment.
We have capacity locally to be able to assemble commercial vehicles, especially the big trucks. I want to assure you that by the end of the year, we are going to transition into 100% reliance of locally assembled commercial vehicles, especially the truck, so that we can be able to create more jobs for these people. As we do that, we are also looking at other areas. We have a boat here, Your Excellency. I want to thank Simba Motors. They have something called Simba Marine. They have assembled a boat that is going for 450,000 shillings. In normal times out there, that boat goes for 1.5 million shillings. And we are working with the Cabinet Secretary Mvurya and the State Department for Blue Economy to see how we can be able to integrate that boat into some financing scheme, the same way we are doing for the e-mobility, to ensure that our fishermen are able to access that locally assembled boat.
I was pleasantly informed that you are looking at increasing the components that will bring local content from 20% to 30%. It is our belief that as we engage in this sector, more and more capacity is going to be built so that we can increase the level of manufacture. Those in level 1 should move to level 2, those in level 2 should move to level 3, and eventually we want to manufacture these vehicles from scratch here in Kenya. Let me give you some good news. We are in the process of engaging to acquire 5,400 motor vehicles for our security agencies. These motor vehicles, we are going to insist that only those vehicles that are assembled at level 3 will qualify to be supplied by our local assembly manufacturers. We are not going to acquire any vehicle that doesn't have the fingerprints of the young people in Kenya on them. I commend your existing training and knowledge transfer program, and I thank you for the engineers and technicians that you have already trained to date. I have come across many young Kenyans as I went through the assembly lines from our TVETs, from our colleges, from our universities. It is a refreshing moment that an additional close to 100 of them will be hired when this assembly line rolls into being. I am pleased to hear that you also upskill local manufacturers through capacity building in technology and production know-how to achieve global standards for our local content. This will raise quality assurance on locally produced products in line with Toyota Motors Corporation's assembly standards, which are possibly the most rigorous in the world. In our political equation, as a democracy, as a people who believe in constitutionalism and the rule of law, there cannot be space for violence in our political equation. We must, as a people, as a country, that it is not going to be business as usual. It is not going to be part of going forward as a nation, that we can engage in politics that destroys property, that causes loss of life, that destroys public infrastructure, that is not going to be the way. And whatever it takes, we must do together as a nation to make sure that we build our country, we provide opportunity for the young people of our nation. Nataka niwashukuru vile vile kwa kukubali sasa tuungane mbali na mirengo ya siasa, sote tuungane kama viongozi tuweze kutimiza majukumu yetu ya uongozi na kushughulikia mahitaji ya wananchi wa taifa letu la Kenya. Nimefika hapa katika hafla hii kwa sababu ni ya muhimu katika mipango ya taifa letu la Kenya na vile vile mipango ya bottom up. Tulikubaliana ya kwamba tunataka kupanua sekta ya manufacturing. It is our commitment as a government that we expand and increase the contribution of manufacturing to our GDP from 7.2% to 15% and eventually to 20% by 2030. Among the interventions that we need to work on is one like what AVA is doing. The government is implementing the local content policy and the Buy Kenya, Build Kenya policy. We have developed the Preferential Procurement Master Roll number 1 of 2022 that promotes the uptake of locally produced products in public sector. With the launch of this facility, the SUV choices available to the government of Kenya have increased. I want to challenge investors in the automotive sector, both local and foreign, to take advantage of our conducive business environment to expand into full automotive manufacturing. And as I have said, as we buy motor vehicles as government of Kenya, we will insist that they must be either locally manufactured or locally assembled. We're not going to buy any vehicles that have come into the country without any input by the young people of the Republic of Kenya. The industry composition as it stands today is below the required potential. We have only one original equipment manufacturer, 5 motor vehicle assemblers, and 32 registered motorcycle assemblers, 27 being operational, of which 14 specialize in electric motor vehicles. I want to ask the management of this facility and CFAO as a company that with partnership with the government of Kenya, we are looking forward to moving away from the motor vehicles that we are currently assembling in Kenya. And we are encouraging you, and we will work with you to see what additional incentives we can put in place so that you can manufacture electric vehicles in Kenya.
Jana nilitazama nikaangalia kidogo, nikaona wale wangwana wa handshake, wale watu ya kusalimiana, wameenda pale kuweka maua na wakatoa shilingi milioni 5 kwa watu ambao walipoteza maisha yao kutokana na wao wenyewe kuitisha maandamano. Mimi nataka nimwambie Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta na Raila Odinga, wakati wa handshake watoto wetu waliuawa kupitia serikali yenu ya udhalimu. Hapa Mombasa watoto wengi waliuawa, pale Malindi watoto wengi waliuawa, Lamu, ukanda mzima wa pwani watoto walichukuliwa na kuuawa. Ukienda Mandera, Garissa na sehemu zingine watoto waliuawa. Wale watoto waliouawa katika hatamu yako ya wewe kuwa rais huko na kuwatupa katika River Yala, hao pia tunawahesabu. Tafadhali chukueni maua, muende katika kila kona ambayo mumeweza kuhakikisha mulipoteza hao watoto katika uongozi wenyu. Na sisi hatutakubaliana na kauli mbiu hiyo yenyu, kwa sababu Your Excellency, aliyekuwa rais, aliyekuwa prime minister, aliyekuwa vice president, eti wanachanga shilingi milioni 5 kwa maafa ambao wao wenyewe wamesababisha. Wametumia shilingi milioni 250 katika maandamano. Your Excellency, Waswahili wanasema ng'ombe hazeeki maini. Bado mimi ni jichopevu. Hiyo ndio pesa walitumia. 250 million to cause chaos in Nairobi and some other parts of this great country of ours. Today you are dancing on the graves of our children, and we are not going to allow you to do that.